go to our next panelist, and I'm very pleased to introduce Miss Yamini Krishnan. Yamini is the Senior Director HR at IQVIA. She has had 2 decades of multi-geography, cross-domain experience of working across various industries like healthcare, banking, IT, and consulting. She has been recognized in the list of top 16 women HR of India. Yamini, according to a study conducted by popular global medical journal Lancet, the prospects of becoming physically unwell with COVID 19 ranked lower than issues related to social and psychological response to the pandemic, including social isolation, increased anxiety, depression, stress, and other negative feelings concerning the practical implication of the pandemic response, including the financial difficulties. I would like you to share the thoughts on the importance of mindfulness, empathy, and compassion in these uncertain times. Over to you, Yamini, please.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Sakshi. And thanks a lot, Gaurav, for even inviting me for this wonderful initiative of discussing with everybody. My name is Yamini. I work with IQVIA and I handle the commercial BU of Africa, Middle East, and South Asia HR. And so this COVID, I would say, has given a completely different perspective. So when you look at it, I do feel as HR professionals, whatever we did for the last 20 years probably comes to on one side of the balance. And we had to completely change our thought process and mindsets, the way we decide, the way we function, the way we actually have to take decisions and start working completely in a very different way when the COVID pandemic started. Yes, you brought up a very important aspect of mindfulness and empathy. So, while Swadesh actually gave us so many things, which were probably, I think, quite a lot of things were unique. And also, I think they are doing a lot of initiatives as per most of the organizations. What I feel is very important is how we connect to our employees as people. So I think the biggest thing that the COVID actually brought about as a change in all of us is to probably start looking at the human angle, right? Actually, if you ask me, I think all around we saw people connecting with each other, and it became a necessity because we were stuck in the four walls of our homes, and it became a necessity to actually reach out to people, have these Zoom calls or virtual connections with teams, with our colleagues, with peers, with even far lost friends or cousins, wherever we had. So the connections with people actually took a major important aspect of our lives when we started out with the pandemic. So when the employers or organizations started looking at it as an initiative, it became very important for us, especially when we looked at our world employee headcount of more than 65,000 employees. It became very important for us to start working on initiatives where we touch and understand and reach out to people wherever they are. So, we started out with discussions, video calls, understanding and empathizing with the situations, because in some countries, obviously, especially in India, I think we did go into the lockdown on a very sudden way. It was not like a planned initiative, because most of us as organizations actually plan for BCP in a very different ways, right? We either plan for a certain percentage of our organization working remotely, or we actually plan for the entire organization to work remotely for a certain period of time. But this pandemic actually pushed the limits for all of us to work 100% from a remote scenario, and at a continued sustained way. Even today, when you look at it, we all know when it started. At this point of a time, we are probably staring at a situation where we'll never know when we will go back to that 100%. For that matter, a lot of organizations may not even go back to that 100% working from office kind of scenarios. So in this kind of a situation, how important is it for say a leaders or line managers or HR professionals to be in touch with people, to be actually understanding their physical, mental, emotional well-being, and how they're able to cope up with the changing scenarios of work requirements, especially with COVID. I've heard multiple times that it has blurred the lines between genders. People had to help out at homes. People had to take on a lot more responsibilities, whether you're a male or a female. We have also heard about situations where people had to actually spend longer hours than what they were spending in the office. So, and they had to cope with situations of children being at home, elders being at home, with the additional um, aspect of actually the actual worry of the disease affecting you in some point if you're not careful, right? So it was becoming really important for an individual to be mindful. As an organization, it again became very important for us to take necessary steps in ensuring that we reach out to people, provide the necessary supports, change the policies wherever it is required. And I think in this process, all of us as managers and leaders learned two major important things. One is trust. We started trusting our people more, that because a lot of managers probably never believed that work from home would be fully productive or completely efficient for a long period of time. But I think managers, and now obviously without a choice, but everybody started trusting work from home. And more importantly, we actually noticed ownership. People are accountable for what they are assigned to, and everybody takes care of their work irrespective of how they're spending their time, whether they are required to log in and log out at a specific time, or whether they have to sit along with their children for the classes which are happening online, or whether they have to manage their stuff at home. But we understood that people are completely accountable for the work that is assigned to them. And I think as an organization, we started believing and trusting our people, and that is actually given it's like a mutual understanding between, it's like a very healthy relationships that organizations are building at this point of time. Because the more you trust, I think that is where the loyalty starts coming. And it is very important that we start sharing the information, as I think Swadesh has already pointed out. Transparency, communication, timely updates became very important. We really don't know whether everybody actually gets to open the mails and read through everything. But having these calls, team meetings, HR being part of these discussions, reaching out at least to one individual a day to understand how they are actually managing, and doing virtual town halls, which became very important to give them the updates, even though it has been continued. While we don't know when it is going to end, it is really important that we sustain this connectivity and being connected with our people. So
Me,
some
I
of
think,
these things became very important.
yeah. So I think excellent insights by Yamini, and mindfulness is very, very important and plays a very important role in this crucial time. And I think the next epidemic post this COVID epidemic will be the mental health. It was earlier
Absolutely.
also, but now I think it has come onto the fore. And
Yeah.
very valid point, very useful insights. And
Yeah.
may I also request all the panel members to keep on answering the questions which are coming on the chat, and as a lot of participants are requesting. So thanks a lot, Yamini.
Thank
Over
you.
to you, Sakshi. Yeah.
Thank you, Yamini. And very rightly said that it is very important to be connected, to communicate to employees, to keep in touch. That will actually help them to come out of all the crises which we are seeing nowadays. Thanks a lot.